Hey everybody, this is Joshua, and we're back again with another segment of the show. And welcome back to my 30 seconds. And as you know it's a Friday, and you know what it is with Fridays. Our we have our special guest today, and before I say anything, I just thought it would be interesting to always start off with something quite interesting, like effect of the week. And this week, I actually saw something quite interesting. Effect of the week: Korean scientists have actually created an invincible solar panel, which that now means that windows can be used to generate electricity. But that is effect of the week, and I don't want to waste time. As you know, Cliffy is on the line. Cliffy, good evening, man.
Hey, brother MJ, how are you, man?
I am great, thanks, man. How are you doing?
No, I'm all good. Just taking it easy on a Monday and Friday. And I must say, you sounded a little low for Monday and Friday. I thought you'd be all hyped up.
Hey, it's busy here in Pretoria, but you know what? I just need to stay indoors. It's quite cold. We're experiencing a bit of a cold front this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was some snow in the Eastern Cape. So that snow, obviously, after that happens that side, it always comes down to us because
Ooh.
of that altitude thing. Yeah, man.
Yes. Anyway, Cliffy, let's get down to it. How was your week, man?
Now the week was very good. Must say, not a lot of stuff happened this week. A few stuff in the markets, but my week, in terms of business and in terms of things happening, it has been a very good week. I'm actually finding that clients are now more inclined to start investing professionally, not just retail investments. So
Yeah.
I'll say it was a good week.
Oh, that's
And
great.
how's it that side?
Ah, no, man. It's been a great week. We've just been busy, but preparing for the second part of the year. I think I'd like to believe that's keeping me busy, or that it kept me busy rather during the course of the week.
No, 100%, MJ.
And I just want to reflect on what happened the past weekend. What is it, Saturday? The President of the Republic, President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, attended the new Global Financial Pact Summit in France. And a lot of things were said there with regards to the investments and so on. And I really like what he says there, that he said something very profound, and I think that's something that we can anchor on. And he spoke about reform on the financial architecture of the world. And what do you think of that? What is your take on that when it comes to the economic overview of the country, rather?
Oh man, like what a wonderful summit to watch, and what a great speech that he gave there. But I also like the fact that you mentioned his vendor name. I'm a vendor guy myself, so when you mentioned the name Matamela, I'm excited
Umatamera.
about that.
Yeah.
Yes. But besides the grandiosity around that, really the speech that he gave there was very powerful. Because, to be honest with you, even in the way he approached it, the reform that was needed. The first thing he mentioned was that sometimes it's Africa speak to the world. It's almost like we are begging them or asking them so hard for them to help us. And it shouldn't be that way, because we're an active player in this global economy.
Exactly.
And I think he made it so clear to them that we are not beggars. We are here as an economic player, and could some economic reform happen? I mean, we asked for COVID, vaccines, and we had to pay for it. In an economy that's a 21st century economy, that is not something that should happen. A 21st century economy where Africa is an active player in that economy, it should be an almost like a pure sort of approach to that sort of situation. So I really loved it, and I really loved how he plays the fact that as Africa now we're moving into a place where we see ourselves as beggars. We don't see ourselves as lower level. We don't see ourselves as beneath anybody else in this world. We see ourselves as equal players on this economic field, so that we don't even have to ask. It had to happen.
So in essence, I think the leaders of the respective countries from Africa that had represented their respective states there were speaking of a leveled playground. But in terms of the economy, do you think that is going to be something that's going to be quite possible in the near future, or for Africa rather to trade on a level playground with other countries?
Can I be honest with you? For us to be able to play on that level playground, or level environment, if I should say, what it would take for us as Africa is also to be able to stand on our own two feet, be able to trade freely. I mean, that's something that has been spoken about in the AU.
Yes.
Free trade.
Yes.
Stand on our own two feet, and once we're able to stand on our own two feet,
yeah,
it's much easier to approach the table of discussion as, we are independent, we are able to stand on our own two feet. We don't need aid, we don't need any help, but we are able to stand on our own two feet. Then I think then we can have a more reasonable conversation in terms of an equal environment, or an equal economic environment rather.
You just reminded me of a speech I had Dr. Mukwabe Masuta give. I think it was at the ICC. The NYDA had hosted an event for the BRICS. Some of this organizers, I'm just not too sure about the full name of the program that they had, but then he said something remarkable about a free market. He says that we cannot be participants of a free market if ourselves are not economically free as individuals. And I think that was something quite interesting. And speaking of free market and free trade, something quite interesting we saw in the tabloids, Johann Rupert, South African billionaire, is now the richest billionaire in Africa, surpassing Dangote.
Oh yeah, Aliko.
Yes. What does he exactly own? I think a lot of people just know Johann Rupert is white and so on, but we don't really know what he owns. What does he own? What does he do?
Yeah, goodness. Firstly, talking about Johann Rupert, somebody who's been mentioned in the Stellenbosch affair, if I should say. I don't know if I could say that on your show.
Yeah, no, right, yeah, sure.
Definitely. But one thing we should know, from that context already, that he's a very powerful figure in South Africa.
Yes.
And he has so much influence. And if we were to go into what he necessarily owns, we'd have to have a whole show for that. Because, when you're somebody at that level, you are involved in so many businesses that are in the country that it's almost even hard for us to able to pin you down on one business, But in the context of South Africa, he's somebody that is very influential in the economy, where the economy is going. I won't mention business names right now or any businesses particular, because like I said, he's a consortium or his own business. He's involved in so much that it'll be very hard for us to be able to put it down to one business or two businesses. But for us as South Africans, what can that do for us is encouragement. Somebody who has enough influence on our economy and now is taken apart as being the richest man in South Africa. I mean, that holds us in a democratic country, It then tells us that we are liable to tell this guy, or be able to approach him and say, listen, for you to be the richest man in Africa, there must be some sort of reward or some sort of incentive that comes back to us, the people who are here. There must be some sort of incentive, especially, I'm not talking about the context of South Africa. It must be something that comes back to us that we can see that materializes. And the first one that I'll talk about, we mentioned it last week, is unemployment.
Yeah.
Can you, as the richest man in Africa, influence the unemployment rate in the country in which you are deemed to be the richest man, So
already the guy is I feel like he's doing quite a lot for the country. Not to say he's the only biggest stakeholder, but he has a number of companies. They employ a lot of people, and it is quite fair to say that they are actually contributing a lot to the economy, not only on employment basis, but also on an investment basis. When we have investment drives in South Africa, these are some of the people that go out there and they market South Africa.
No, 100%. 100%, and they really, really do. But we want to know, is it marketing on a almost like a business level, or is it marketing on a South African level where we want South Africans to benefit from that sort of marketing, And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he runs one of the biggest companies, not only on the JSE, but in the world itself, the Richmond company.
Yeah.
The CFR, I'm going to just mention it on its ticker name. But the CFR, the Richmond company, they are like a jewelry luxury company.
Yeah.
A very big company. And that then also come down to our mining sector. Can mining then improve? And then people get employed in that sector, things like that. And like I say, I'm just mentioning just one of the businesses where he's actively involved in, but there are a whole spectrum of them. But literally, in our level of being here in South Africa, can it then result in employment? People are crying about employment.
In a country like South Africa, where we have a lot of unemployment and a lot of crime rates. As of recent, we've been having commissions after commissions for state of capture. Do you think that it could also be a threat if we have one of the richest people in Africa, and yet after so many commissions we've had in South Africa, there still are no recommendations from those commissions or no structure put. I mean, we had this past week or so, the Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, he actually said something about that. He said that, no, you know what? Look, in as much as we've had these commissions, there have just not been any recommendations or any things that have been put in place to combat any further state capture. Do you think that having such powerful individuals in our country could, in a way, or possibly result in another state capture? I mean, we're talking about a very powerful person here.
No, 100%, and like I said, I'm going to approach this conversation as I've done in the previous times from a capitalistic sort of point of view. And what I'll say is our state, has already been captured by big business. Big business runs our state. So we must just accept that and acknowledge that. But what we should not accept is redundant sort of inquiries that have no legal implications going on in the country. Because first of all, these are redundant sort of commissions, if I should say. They don't result in any court interdicts. No charges happen, but taxpayer money is being paid out for this thing to happen. So first of all, we must get away from that. And also getting away from that, we must also understand that there is state capture happening. There are private individuals in our republic that have their own private interests. But what we should then start to talk about is, can those private interests benefit the general public of South Africa? And what I'll say in terms of the State Commission, what we have seen now, there's nothing that has happened materialistically that we can say that the State Commission can do anything about it. This is where now we say that as much as our constitution is good, but this is where it downplays us, because
and what exactly would we look forward? What exactly can we look forward to as a result of such not happening, as a result of such instability in terms of policy making? How do our markets normally participate in such? How do they respond when there's such uncertainty?
Negatively, bro. Very negative. And in fact, we talk about local markets, local investors. Obviously, the local part of that, people can adjust and say, you know what, I'll take a chance. But the one thing that we need is offshore investments, direct foreign investments to our economy. But from a foreign perspective, people look at our country and think, shucks, these guys have been running commissions for years, but they had no serious sort of persecutions. Nobody's going to jail. No high-status people are going to jail. And that, obviously, from an external perspective, you're thinking, if we were to put an example right now, you're an investor who's living in the UK, and you're looking at the South African situation, you think, there are cases of corruption, commissions have happened, but no elite person has been arrested. So what is the effectiveness of that? And if there's no effectiveness, that downplays our entire investment sort of environment.
Yeah.
And what I would say to that is, for South African established bodies like, I'm going to mention now what's something that they have in the USA, like an SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission.
Yeah.
These who are there, they exist to create like these kind of conversations we have, the commission sort of conversations, but those commission conversations are not only just conversations, but they are legal behind it, in the sense that if we do find that you were playing naughty, if I should say, I don't want to use.
Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing that they were having when they were they had Mark Zuckerberg come up front and they wanted him to give some answers in terms of the privacy of the individual, of the people?
Exactly, no, and in fact, it's not even the ATC. That was just the Senate of the American people that came out and said there's some foul play in there. There are people who are there, like, that's what I'm saying. And obviously, we can't compare our democracy with the US democracy because that has existed for so long. We are only like, 30 plus years in our democracy, but we can learn from that. But the Senate called them in. They called them in and they said, you know what, the practices that you are doing are not encouraging the economy. They're in fact downplaying the economy. You are playing dirty. What is it that you're doing? And they questioned it live, you know what I mean? We are able to see, and it had legal implications. Whereas with our commission that we have, they keep reminding us that it's just a commission. People are charged. People can't go to court after that. And that is something that we should look into, as a country, because if we can't do that, then, you call anybody in and tell them, hey, don't do that again, but go back and click.
So it could be some type of a white-collar crime gimmick in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I want us to look at something very interesting that happened during the course of the week, actually. We saw economist, Leandro da Silva, an economist at Nedbank, and Kulani Siweya, who's the chief economist at Agri-SA, they were actually talking about the cooling down of the CPI in terms of the food. We're looking at a certain basket of goods. In as much as the interest rates are going up, we see that there's a cooling down a bit in the price index. How will that have an impact, or how will that have an effect in the pockets of the consumers in the next months to come?
Yeah, so I'm glad we can transition into that. Obviously, now we have had so many interest rate hikes.
Yeah.
Aim of impacting this inflation that we're having. And obviously, we see some things going down, which is okay on the side of the consumer, because then they have more purchasing power.
Yeah, because
is it happening as fast as the interest rates are rising?
I don't think so. However, they said that they acknowledged that. Wandile Slobo from Mail and Guardian actually acknowledged that. Just after 8 months of South Africa's food inflation at a level above 12.3%. In May, the data showed that the inflation, the CPI, decelerated to 12.0%. Down from 14.3% in April 2023, and that is very interesting, eh?
It is, but also, can I be honest with you? Sometimes the thing with food inflation, right? When you're talking about food prices, right?
Yes.
We must also consider the seasons.
Yeah.
When you're coming from a good harvest season, it's easy to say that inflation went down, because obviously there was a season where everybody was harvesting. There was enough supply in the economy for us to see prices go down. We do know, the essentials of economics. High supply means low prices, of course, just as high demand means low prices.
Yeah.
So we must also consider that. But if we're going to look at it at a general spectrum in terms of what the Reserve Bank is doing with their instruments to tame inflation, has been effective, because I'm going to look at it like eggs now. There's a crisis in I think it was in Malanga, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Now they're telling us that egg prices are also going to go up again. Eggs are an essential, eggs, milk, things like that. They are essentials. What's happening with those kind of things? Are they decreasing because of what the Reserve Bank is doing with interest rates, or are they decreasing because there's just supply in the economy? And those are the things that we really should ask ourselves, because, like I said, these interest rate hikes have been so heavy in the aim of fighting inflation. But we can't just focus only on food inflation. What about the other parts of the economy? The economy is created on so many different parts. It's just not agri that drives the economy. There is more. What about those other parts?
Just this week, the governor of the Reserve Bank actually warned that we might see a higher increase in interest rates. How is that going to have an impact? Perhaps you should explain to our listeners, from my understanding, I'll explain my understanding, but perhaps you should explain in just 2 minutes to our listeners what it means to the economy when there's an increase in the interest rates, and what is the reason behind, or some of the reasons behind, why the governor of the Reserve Bank, or the Reserve Bank on its own, would increase interest rates.
100%. So right now, in this environment that we're in, one base that the Reserve Bank has to increase interest rates is to fight inflation. Fight inflation and nothing else. Yes. What we're seeing now in the general economy, like I said, that's why we can't just focus on food in itself. The prices are going down. Prices are actually going up. So that effect, just on that in itself, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. But generally, what it is supposed to do is, when they increase the interest rate, what is supposed to happen in the general economy is some prices will go. Inflation then tamed down a little bit. There's not enough money supply going around. Not enough money supply, what does that mean? Not enough demand. And when there's less demand, what does that do to prices? Prices have to go down. Prices have to go down, and not on one industry, on all industries. But what we realize what's happening now, the governor of the Reserve Bank has been increasing these rates for 5 months in a row, if not since the beginning of the year. And prices just keep going up. So they now must get to an understanding that probably there are other factors besides that monetary factor that are driving inflation. Because essentially, as we read in our books, in our economic books, how it's supposed to happen is they increase interest rates, prices go down.
Yeah.
But even your listeners, who are here right now can compare that. Shucks, I go outside and all I'm seeing is prices still going up.
But then I think we need to be quite careful with that, because a change in the interest rates by the Reserve Bank, the results can only be seen within 12 to 18 months, So then now, the increase that we're having right now, depending on the type of economy that we're talking about, when we talk about an economy in construction, or we talk about locomotive, these are some of the lagging indicators of the economy, wherein you find that you will only see the results later, and then whereas we have coincidental economies, and which happen just now, when there's a change now, we see it now. So, but then in a nutshell, I want us to focus more specifically on food.
Yeah, can I just say something to just mention now? Sorry, I'm so sorry to disturb you on that. But what I'm trying to say is, that a decision they make has an impact. The only way we can see the results after a long period of time, 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm emphasizing on the fact that they have been increasing rates consecutively. Each meeting the Monetary Policy Committee has had this year, there's been an increase of rates. So that's consecutive increases. So if they also understood it just how you just explained it, that if we increase just once, obviously the effects we can see later on. They could have stopped at least 1, 2, 3 increases, but they have increased it consecutively, more than 3 times within a singular space. Which is why I can then also comment and say, if they're going to increase in the short term that quickly, how come then we don't see impact in the short term that quickly? That's just the argument I'm raising, But as you were saying.
Yeah, I was just saying that I want us to look at it from a food's perspective or goods perspective, most particularly consumables, because these are things that are consumed on a daily, you know. Looking at a certain basket, now what is the impact of an increase in those interest rates when it comes to basic foods, and how will that have an impact on the poorest of the poor in South Africa, or your lower middle class and the middle class that is thriving to survive?
100%, and this is where our appreciation of farmers then comes in. What we can only hope for, and it was only like say they come out after a quarter, then we understand the implications. But what we can only hope for is that the increases also have some sort of a positive impact on our farmers, because our farmers must be able to then generate these basics that we need. But if our farmers are finding it hard, or even like I say, hard to do business, to trade, and do what they do, then obviously it'll reflect in our own consumables that we have on a day-to-day. So one thing we can say is, let's hope that our farmers are being at a positive environment right now, because if they're at a positive environment, they're able then to do more and produce more. And once there's no production, then that we can see it come through in our prices. Like I mentioned now in Mpumalanga, there's a crisis, so we do know definitely that egg prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Because of that crisis that's happening there. But when it comes to other basics that we have, bread and all of that, how is the economy treating our farmers? If the economy is accommodative to our farmers, see positive change in the food prices that we have.
Yeah.
If not, if our farmers are being strained, if our farmers have to now pay more, we mentioned interest rates. For our farmers, we must understand that farmers run debts as well. They have debts going on. If then it becomes difficult to maintain those things, then it will become difficult for us to have lower food prices.
Oh no, I completely understand that, and I hope the viewers or the listeners actually get that context of how that would impact the food prices and so on. But to conclude the show, it has been a very phenomenal year for tech stocks, thanks to artificial intelligence and so on. And what would be some of the tech stocks or tech companies that you'd reckon that the listeners look up to for investment purposes?
Yeah, and I must say, MJ, this part of the show, this is where I start getting excited, because when we talk the economy, there's so many possibilities. But when we talk markets themselves in terms of stock picking, it gets a bit exciting because there's so much happening there.
Yeah.
But yes, it's been a good year for stock, and I'm going to talk about generally some offshore share stock that are there. Not generally in our own local shares. There's just a few one that take. So I'm going to talk about offshore, and basically there's been some stock that have done very well, and a few that I'm going to mention, a couple actually. It's firstly Nvidia. They are doing very well. They're in the AI space, whether it's gaming or just tech in general. They've done very well in the sense that they, like I say, use AI very well in the product that they operate.
Yes.
To use AI, you need good hardware. And now the company that I'll mention is the Taiwanese semiconductor company, who then supplies the hardware that is necessary for the AI to actually exist. And with those companies, I've seen that there's been significant growth. And even there are other companies, major companies, the bank stock that we know, our Amazons, our Tesla, our Apples, that have done very well because they initialize AI into their systems. But specifically, like I say, for all viewers out there, go search Nvidia, and go search the Taiwan semiconductor. Why? The Taiwanese, they offer hardware, whereas Nvidia, they offer the software. The software that they're developing right now, I don't want to get too technical, but it is accommodating for AI technology. And it has been a very powerful space. I myself have my own easy equity account, if I can say this on show. I've done very well on it. I invested in them in 2020. There was a friend of mine who said it to me. and we've done very, very well on that front.
That is absolutely great. Speaking of Amazon, you mentioned Amazon. Amazon is coming to South Africa. Do you think that it's going to provide a competitive space when it comes to online shopping in South Africa? With that being said, Takealot actually, there was a case. Takealot actually took Amazon to court, but I think they were dismissed.
Yeah, MJ, can you still hear me there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, 100%. Sorry. So I must say that in the South African context, you must remember who runs Takealot.
Yeah.
And through Naspers. Naspers is a large company. Right now, they're going through a sort of, I'm not going to say it's not a crisis, just a destructuring. So they're a dual structuring with the company. It's also a very big company, the JSE. So they are trying to sort out that sort of structure. But Amazon coming to South Africa means competition. One thing that we don't want in our sort of environment is monopolized environment.
Yeah.
Takealot is the one that dominates the industry. We don't want that. We want competition because competition creates better products. Competition creates better prices. So I am happy that they're going to come here to South Africa. They will oppose the competition because Amazon is a very big company. And Takealot, like I said, they have had a share here and they are very aggressive with it. So it won't be that easy to take them on, but I think they need competition. And with Amazon coming here, they are very good competition.
All right, Cliffy. All right. It's month end. We had a very lovely chat today. Like what I always say, like sands through the hourglass. So is the time that we have to spend together. Cliffy, until the next show. See you next Friday.
No, thank you so much, MJ, for the time once again. And I really hope our viewers are taking some fruits from these conversations we're having, because it's really one thing that we need in South Africa is financial literacy. And thank you for the session, and I hope we can do it again next week.
All right, sweet. Thanks. All right, that is it with Cliffy there. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show. Cheers.